First about the airline industry. The airline industry, as we know, has had losses year on year for like 40 years. The main problems are high fixed costs, low yields, excess supply. That is, you have more seats, but there's not enough passengers. And this entire thing has led to a very complex pricing fare structure, where people are basically enticing customers through discounts and schemes. And finally, this has led to a very cost competitive environment, where people are just, first thing that rivals do is just undercut prices. And as a result, you have had 2 airlines which are bankrupt, and most of the industry is not in profit. American Airlines is the highest market share player in this industry. It's also facing losses, but it's still the largest player. One very important thing about American Airlines was in 1977 they're the first player to introduce super saver schemes, that is undercut the competition. So they have a history of having a price war, and that can have multiple ramifications as we go ahead. So just a quick walk through the ecosystem. As you can see, travel agent is like the center part of the ecosystem. You have your rivals and American, which are basically going to the same travel agent, and they are further going into the customers. So the travel agent kind of shields the customer from the complexity of the prices. Another thing that the travel agent does is that if we make any changes to the pricing scheme of the travel agent, then the rivals are going to get affected. So that is something we have to be very cognizant about. Go ahead, Nandan is taking up.
So, for the 7th time in the day, we are value pricing again. I'll be presenting you the SWOT analysis of value pricing. In brief, strengths. For any customer, there used to be a lot of fares, and there used to be a lot of confusion, a lot of time thinking which fare you should go in for. But with value pricing, there will be drastic decrease in the number of fares, and there will be less options, and hence there will be less confusion for the customer. So it will be resulting in the value addition to the customer. For the American Airlines, it will be handling less number of fares, hence it will be incurring less cost handling the database of so many fares. Coming to weaknesses, it will lead to the short-term reduction in revenues because some of the customers might turn up and they might go in for the competitors. Opportunities, if we get the message across in the proper way to the competitors, this will result in a long-term profitability not only to the American Airlines but to the entire airline industry as a whole. And threats, the airline industry has been marked by lack of trust among the various players, and this can lead to price war if any of the players has the temptation and gives to temptation by decreasing the price, undercutting the price, and this can lead to very bad kind of price war. Sustainability of the value pricing is one of the major threats to the value pricing. Now to go ahead, Sharad will be presenting the analysis.
Thanks, Nandan. So yeah, we have gone through the SWOT analysis, and yeah, strengths and opportunities look good. But what about the weaknesses and the threats? I mean, how are we going to counter this reduction in revenues, and how are we going to build that trust that's required to kind of make this work? So let's look at the modified strategy that we're kind of proposing to kind of actually make the value pricing system work in reality. So what we just thought was that we should probably modify the value pricing scheme a bit in terms of trying to get back the part of the revenue loss. So the first thing is the reduction in the first class, the reduction in first class which has been proposed in the value pricing strategy. It's not optimal because as we know, every customer has a reservation price, and if you want to extract it, the premium customers are the guys who are ready to pay, and we should not lose the revenue from them. Going ahead, what about the business class? The business demand is inelastic. It's less than 1% elasticity with business travel. So instead of actually giving them a 38% discount as has been proposed in the value pricing, we only propose a 30% discount and use that additional 8% buffer, which is a huge amount, to kind of go to those, give loyalty programs. So where you're essentially giving frequent flyer programs in bulk to the whole corporates. Okay. It can also be used for giving additional value in terms of differentiated service, like it's more like flexible service to certain corporates. It could be even pickup service for corporates and so on. The key thing is we are kind of trying to do product versioning. So basically we have a different service as against other competitors. So the prices are no more comparable. And once the prices are no more comparable, we are kind of trying to fight the price war already. Going ahead, what about the next other important stakeholders in this whole ecosystem? Travel agents. The travel agents are currently the guys who are actually shielding the customer from the whole complex price structures. So value pricing is good. It's good to the customer as well, but the customer will not bother. Because the customer will go to a travel agent and ask for a price. So how are we going to incentivize the travel agent to sell the value pricing structure? So basically we are going to introduce a non-linear revenue sharing. So this non-linear revenue sharing will tell the travel agent that if you actually sell a high price ticket, you're going to get a higher percentage of the whole revenue. Today what the travel agent gets is a fixed percentage of the total cost of the ticket, and there is a Jacko scheme where he's going to get additional commission based on the number of tickets sold. So non-linear revenue sharing will incentivize the travel agent to kind of sell more tickets and more high price tickets. Further, the travel agent can also promote the low yield routes. The customers, 20% of the customers, leisure customers don't even know where they want to travel. So the moment travel agent is going to promote that, he is going to, the yield is going to increase for airlines at large and American Airlines in particular. But all these schemes will work only if you are able to shape your competitors' reaction. Because all these numbers will just fall apart the moment the competitor is getting into a price war and you are reacting to it. So for a model to be sustainable, you have to shape the competitor reaction. So how are you going to do that? We want to organize a conference of aviation industry. So there is an annual ATA conference. So American Airlines is going to organize a special track in that ATA conference, and the CEO Brock Randall is going to talk about the value pricing scheme in this particular conference. So we have special track on innovating pricing strategies, and the value pricing will be a keynote speech there. So through this, we are going to send a signal to all the stakeholders, all the competitors, that this is good for the industry. And the last but not the least is actually shaping the customer expectations. So the customer all the way has been looking at low prices. He doesn't know whether the low prices were because of greed from the industry participants, or is it because of this unhealthy price wars that are happening. So to kind of free the customer from such unrealistic expectations, we're going to launch an ad campaign. That ad campaign is going to be purely based on value to the customers, where they expect better service. It's not going to be any more in the discounts as has been in the past. So my friend Arjun is going to run you through the ad campaign.
So basically we guys are going to be using two mediums to advertise, print and radio. And the key message in our advertising is that we need to let customers know that we are increasing value, and we also need to let the competitors know that we are not undercutting prices. So there's no price war going to happen, and we are basically raising the stakes here by increasing value. Okay? So this is our first ad. So basically we say spend less time worrying about ticket prices and more time planning your trip. AA, the best hand in poker, is also called American Airlines. This is our second ad for the price inelastic customer, to show that we are offering more services. Expect more when you fly American. And this ad will appear in luxury magazines and also in in-flight magazines of other airlines. So imagine you're flying United, frustrated, like, man, I wish I was American. And last but not least, the people who take trips, road trips instead of flying, we want to get them out of their cars and into our planes, so they're going to hear this when they're in the car.
'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Figuring prices is no longer a pain. On American, I'm ready to go.
Introducing easy prices for American Airlines. Fixed low fares so you no longer go insane over fluctuating ticket prices. Call 900 American or visit your local travel agent for details.
Who was singing? Who was the...
Yes. Okay, we'll just correct on because of time. Price war filter is essentially, we know that in spite of whatever you do, you always have dumb competitors in the market. So how do you handle these dumb competitors? There are two ways of doing it. One is trying to send them signals that following your strategy will lead to your own self-destruction. The other way to do it is let them go to self-destruction and you optimize your cost, increase your price. So instead of trying to go to low prices, we can actually constrain our own capacity. Okay, so that's what implementing price war filter is all about. So implementing price war filters is about constraining your capacity and making sure that you optimize your cost so that you get a higher margin of profits. Does that answer your question?
Any other question?
No.
No? Alright, thank you so much.
Small announcement for the first four groups, F2, 4 and F6 and 8. We did the video recording of the presentation. You can collect it after this class.